Hi, Julie Jones from SSB Performance, Smarter, Stronger, Better Mindset Training, here with this week's Mindset Made Simple Tip of the Week, brought to you by Game Day Sportswear. Go to shopgameday.net for all of your printing, your t-shirts, spirit wear, all kinds of different things. They can ship it anywhere in the country, and they do a great job. This week, we're talking about the green-eyed monster. When I was a kid, my mom used to say, "They're just jealous, Julie." Nice alliteration. And I really didn't know what they were jealous of, but you know how parents are. They have all kinds of things that you could be jealous of in their mind. But she was on to something. She always said, basically, or what she was saying was, it's not about you, it's about them. They're focusing on you, and not in a good way for you or for them, in all reality. And this is huge when it comes to our performance. You've all had this situation. If you're a leader or a coach, you've got two people vying for the same playing time, same position, whatever it is. Both of them can help your team. Both of them are really good. I had a situation like this. I had two pitchers. One of them had all kinds of accolades coming in. The other one had some accolades coming in, but she was really good. One of them ended up having a Hall of Fame career. The other ended up not pitching in the end. And a lot of it came down to, in my opinion, the fact that one was really jealous of the other. And she wasn't a bad kid. She's a great kid. And I think that made it even worse because now we've got the dissonance going on and all those kinds of things. But you've seen that happen. Somebody takes themselves out of the equation because they're so focused on what this other person is getting or what this other person is doing or how other people treat this person. And they aren't focused on what they need to do, which is think about their performance. So we've got to talk about this green-eyed monster that all of us have dealt with. You've all been there. You've been there. I've been there. As soon as we go to those questions of why not me, as soon as we go there, we start to decline in our ability to do what we need to do. Jealousy is natural. But when it starts to affect our focus and our confidence and ultimately our performance, we've got to do something about it. Research consistently shows that when athletes focus on others rather than themselves, they underperform. Dr. Albert Bandura's self-efficacy theory is all about deciding that we're going to focus on or gaining confidence or being able to deal with who we are based on what we do, not what others do, or not what others think, or not what others say. But true self-efficacy comes from us taking account of our ability to get things done. So we've got to think about how do we shift away from this constant comparison and oh my gosh, I can't believe she or he's getting that, to what do I need to do right now? Because when we don't focus on ourselves and our performance, then we're not able to do what we need to do to the extent that we need to do it. What makes us focus on others' opportunities instead of our own? Well, we've talked about this before, the reticular activating system, right? It is a bundle of nerves at the end of our brainstem, and it acts as a filter. And it recognizes certain things, your name, a threat, when someone's interested in you, and lastly, when it looks for things that you think are important. So when you decide that someone's getting a better deal than you look for everything that points to that. And you'll find it because you're going to find what you're looking for. But imagine this. Imagine being a swimmer and you're thinking about your competition and how big and strong and fast and all these other things, all the things about them. You are going to be noticing that and looking for it everywhere. And as you're doing that, you are diminishing your own talents, your own preparation, your own focus, your own everything, because you're looking at them. How can you be thinking about your game plan when all you're doing is looking to fulfill what you think is true in them? And again, you're going to find what you're looking for. Jealousy is closely tied with social comparison, right? A concept explored by our buddy Leon Festinger, who also is our cognitive dissonance guy. And we naturally compare ourselves to others, but instead of building our own strengths, we fixate on the advantages that we think these other have that are now in our RAS, and that's what we're looking for, and that's what we find. And when we are fixated on their advantages, we can't find our own. Because here's the truth of it. If you're looking at that, you can't be looking at that. It's impossible. If you're focused on this, you can't be focused on that. It's impossible. So this constant comparison is a killer. It's a performance killer. And we've got to be able to shift our attention back to our performance, plain and simple. So, but the good news is there's strategies, right? There's always a strategy that can help us deal with the green-eyed monster or whatever it is that we're dealing with. And the first one is that we can use power move number 1. We can choose one thought over the other. We can do that. When we catch ourselves thinking, why are they getting ahead? Why are they getting the playing time? We need to flip the script. And we need to think about, what can we do? What questions? Not why questions. Not why does he get that? That's victim. Why equals victim talk. What equals action? How equals action. What can I do to make this situation better? What can I do to give a little more effort? What can I do to take what the coach is telling them if we think that they're getting all the attention? Because if the coach is telling them something, the coach probably thinks it's important. And if it's important for them, it's probably important for me. So if I can listen and just ignore the fact that I'm all jealous because he or she's getting that attention, but I can listen to the instruction or what the praise even of what they're getting, I can learn something from that and put it into practice. If he gets praised for doing that, well, then I need to do that. If she gets this instruction and I know that I can improve that, then I need to improve that. So instead of looking at it like, oh my gosh, she's getting all this attention and she only talks to her and blah, blah, blah. Well, let's listen. Let's use that to our advantage. That's a great way to help be focused on us and what we can do to shift some attention maybe our way. Again, we can't control everything. But we can also use power move number 2, and that's our responsibility, right? We can control how we respond. We can respond to them getting a little more attention than I do, if that's what I assume is going on. And sometimes that's the case, sometimes it's not. But I can respond to that by using that to my advantage. Things happen. Events plus response equals outcome. Events happen, things happen to us, around us, and even because of us, right? We don't control those things. We don't control who the coach talks to. We control how we respond to it. We don't control what the coach says to us. We control how we respond to it. We don't control how much playing time we get. We control how we respond to it. As a coach, we don't control who gets the bulk of the budget. We control how we respond to it. We also don't control our outcomes. We don't control playing time. We don't control the bottom line. We don't control a lot of these things, but the way that we respond to the things that happen to us or around us or because of us influences the outcome. And the other thing that response does is it sets us up to be in a better place to get more of what we want. Now, are we going to always get what we want? No. The biggest American lie is that if you work hard, you're going to get what you want. That's not true. We don't control everything, but we do control how we respond to it. E plus R equals O. Event plus response equals outcome. We don't control the 2 on the end. We control the middle, and the middle makes a difference. The other thing that we can control is whether we're focused on the outcome or whether we're focused on the process. When we're focused on the process, we're focused on things we can control. We're not focused on what they're doing. We're focused on what we're doing. And we're process oriented. I'm going to do this, then I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do this. And when this works, I'm going to evaluate it, not judge it, and then learn from it and move on, and on and on and on down through. But we can't control what's going to happen. We don't decide whether we win. We don't decide whether we throw a strike. We don't decide whether we get a hit. We don't decide whether the other guy's going to catch a pass all the time or not. We can influence it with our effort and all these other different things, but we don't decide. It's not in our hands in the end. We can defend. We can do all kinds of things. We can give the best effort, and somebody can still beat us. It's just the way it is, but we can control how we respond to it. Process goals keep us focused on our performance and not on others. That's huge. Another thing we can do to help the green-eyed monster, to tamp it down a little bit, is to be grateful. My good friend and legendary coach, Jim Tressel, says, you can't, oh no, that's Tony Robbins, I'm sorry. Gratitude is one of the most powerful ways to keep your emotions balanced. Keeping a gratitude journal of your performances, almost like an evidence journal, you write down the good things that happened. This forces your RAS to look for the good things. Now we're looking for what we're doing and not for what they're doing. This little journal that you put together is a confidence booster. And it's not to throw shade on what they're doing or, compare. And this is not about comparing. It's about, what am I doing? What am I doing well? How am I improving? Because if I'm improving, I'm chasing. And eventually, if I keep improving, the chances are that I'm going to pass. So we can be grateful for what went well. We can be grateful for the things that we controlled. We can be grateful for a lot of things. And Tony Robbins says, you can't be angry and grateful simultaneously. You can't be fearful and grateful simultaneously. So gratitude is the solution for both anger and for fear. Another thing that we can do is we can throw our mental tools at this, because power move number 3 says we can manage our state. If we can control our breath, if we can mentally rehearse what we want to happen next, we are now more present and we are more mindful and we are focused on us. Again, that's obviously the running theme. It's not about them, it's about us. But those tools can make a big difference in how we perform. And the quicker we can notice that we're going there, the more quickly we can get back to where we need to be. And we can breathe, and we can talk about what we want, and we can visualize what we want, and we can go and try to do, to the best of our ability, what we want. And what would a discussion be on we need to get better without bringing up Dr. Dweck's growth mindset theory, right? She teaches us to embrace challenges and learn from others' successes rather than feel threatened by them. What your opponent or your competitor or your teammate does isn't a sign of you winning or losing. It's an opportunity for you to push and expand your limits. If they go that far, then you go further. If they go that fast, then you figure out how to go faster. If they go that intensely, then you figure out how to go that intensely. If they go that positively, then you better do it too, because if you're negative, you're not getting there. That's for sure. And then finally, you've got to keep your eyes from turning green by keeping your eyes in your own lane. I talk to kids all the time about the person in the lane next to them. Oh my gosh, we're so focused on the person in the lane next to them, when ultimately they're swimming or running or whatever it is for a time. And yes, they've got to be able to beat the person next to them if they're going to win the race. But you're not going to win the race by watching them. If you're driving in a car race and you're watching the person next to you, you're going to veer off the road. There is no question about it. But the truth of it is, sometimes people are where you want to be because they're doing more or they're doing different. So when you see someone that you're competing with, maybe you need to stop and ask the question, what do I need to do more? What do I need to do differently? How do I get to where they are in the coach's eyes, or whatever that is? But lots of times people get more because they're doing more. What do you need to do? It comes back to you. It's not about what they're doing. Ultimately, it's about what you're willing to do to get what you want. In sports and in life, jealousy can be a thief of joy and of progress. And when we're focusing on others, we're not giving our own performance the attention that it deserves. And remember, your RAS will find whatever you're looking for. So we've got to think about what we want. We need to look for opportunities. I want to get better. Okay, then you're going to be able to find ways to get better. I can't believe that they're getting this. Okay, well, you're going to find all kinds of things they get that you don't think you get, because that's what you're focused on. We can't think of two things at once. So if we're focused on how we're going to get better, then our RAS will pick that up. If we're not, it's going to pick up a whole bunch of other things. So if we really want more opportunity, it's time to focus here. And I don't mean all up in your head, all up in your thoughts, but focus on what you have control over. Set your RAS for what you want. Write down what you want, and that's what you're going to see. Set your intention, because that's what you're going to find. You control more than you think you do. But truthfully, you only control this. You can influence a whole bunch of other stuff by how you respond to what's going on around you. But in the end, the green-eyed monster is going to ruin your performance and your opportunities. So if you want more opportunities, figure out how you can be more mindful, how you can be more grateful, how you can be more focused on choosing one thought over the other, how you can respond better to the environment that's around you so that you can take advantage of the information that's out there and use it to make yourself better. And what can you see and how do you need to feel to get there? So many different ways to manage this innate part of us, this jealousy that we know isn't good for anybody. And they're not just jealous, Julie. It's not okay for our performance. We've got to figure out how we can be our best despite what everyone else around us is doing. That's how we get to the peak. If you'd like to talk about this or any other thing that your team is dealing with and you know that they need to overcome a few things to get better, reach out, juliej@ssbperformance.com. I'd love to talk with you. Just added a new team today and I'm pumped to be working with their program. So if I can help you in any way, please reach out at your convenience. And until next week, have a great week. Keep your eyes in your own lane and do what you need to do to keep that competition healthy. Have a great week.